guys, it's your boy Elisha here, and welcome back to God. This right here is the show where we discuss everything in the world of football from the past week, and by we, of course, I mean myself, your boy, yours truly, and you, the amazing, astounding, stupefying, astonishing people of the world of football, the fans, the family, whatever you want to call yourselves. Guys, we got a lot to talk about this week, so without further ado, let's get right to the business. And you already know what time it is. Let's get this laptop out here. Okay, so now, first of all, let's get started with some Spanish football and get into the Real Madrid game that they drew to Celta Vigo 2-2, and now they lost some points and some traction with their lead against Barcelona. So now they only have 1 point more than Barca. Speaking of which, they won their game 2-1, and Dembele, who's been injured for a while, and he just recently had surgery, and now it's been announced that he's gonna have to miss 6 months of football. 6 months, maybe less. When the guys work hard, there's no rush into getting back faster because you don't want to hurt yourself. But some of them just have a different type of work ethic to where they really grind so that they can get back into the game. But no rush. You don't want at this age to go back too fast into the game and then injure yourself and make things worse for life. So wish him a speedy recovery and that he gets back as soon as he can, as soon as he's fully healthy, and that he can stay like that when he comes back, because it would, the alternative would just suck. But yeah, Barca getting that win is really important for them going into the Champions League, and also it's nice to see the spirit around Dembele and how much support they gave to him by wearing his name and his number on their pre-warm-up shirt. So that was a nice gesture, but unfortunately all black players don't get that type of love everywhere in football, especially not in Portugal. Shout out to Portugal, by the way. But FC Porto player Musa Malaga had some problems this week when they were playing against Vitoria, when apparently there were some racist slurs, racist chants, just a whole lot of things getting thrown his way. And in the 60th minute, he shut all those critics up by scoring the winner for Porto. But what he did after was the things continued. They threw things on the field towards him. The referees, as for the most part, never ever do anything. A lot of them are cowards who just sit back and try to be like those strict officials, like stay and do the game and play and who do nothing about the racism. Not all of them do, a lot of them do. In this case, the officials did do that and gave him a yellow card for him fighting back and protesting, and so he walked out of the field. Shout out to the coach for encouraging him to get off the field, and all the players, his teammates, who were trying to hold him back and make him stay in the game. You guys just, sometimes I'm just like, you can't possibly understand what he feels like. And the fact that you should be one cursing out those fans with him and then telling him, yo, you should not be on this field right now, you should not stand for this, you're not going to play in these conditions. But that's just me, though. I'm not an FC Porto player, and I can't judge them, and I don't know what their reality and their views on this type of stuff are, or how seriously they take it. And this is coming from the same week where FC Cincinnati coach Ron Johnson, where kind of former coach now, who was suspended. Well, he was about to get suspended, and he stepped down actually from the position as head coach because of complaints that were made to the MLS of him using some racially insensitive words. And apparently he used the N-word in the locker room, and his excuse for it was that it was done while he was singing a song. And as always, I'll keep saying this over and over again, I don't completely understand why, even when you're singing a song, some people feel the need to have to say it. It's kind of like when you're around your parents, you don't say certain words. It should kind of be because you respect them, and some people, like, you'll get punched in the mouth by your mom for saying certain things. Well, it's the same thing. If you have a certain level of respect for a group of people, there's certain words that you won't use. Okay, so but because there hasn't been enough repercussions for using that word, it kind of, people feel so like free to say it. So the fact that there were actual repercussions this time, maybe it'll show some other people, yo, maybe you should think twice before saying it. Don't know why they want to so bad, but they do. But moving on from that into some actual football and some positive news, Sancho has been linked now to a whole lot of different teams in the Premier League. Seems like the reality that he's coming back to England is starting to be like a lot more vibrant, because a lot of Premier League teams really want him. And who can blame them? He's played 20 games in the Bundesliga this season. He has 13 goals and 14 assists. 6 matches, he has 3 goals and 2 assists in 2 goals and 2 assists in the Champions League this season. He's absolutely on fire. And then 1 match, 1 goal and 1 assist in the DFL Super Cup. So he's having an unbelievable season. Last year he was through. This year is just another level. So of course a lot of these teams are going to want him, alongside Chelsea, who, you know, a lot of people seem to think that he was a Chelsea fan as a kid or something, or that there's some sort of link to that. They call it like his boyhood club or something like that. So they're trying to get him in. City trying to get him. Why? I have no idea. They don't really need him. Liverpool trying to get him. You know, this is just United, who, you know, we know what that situation is with them, so they could use any help they can. But, you know, it's definitely exciting to see that, you know, there's a lot of hype and much deserved hype around him, and so some top clubs are asking for him. So let's see what he can help Dortmund actually do this year in the Bundesliga and in the Champions League, and if those clubs are still going to want him after that, because that's definitely going to be important. Not starting the year off good and then just kind of slacking at the end of it. Like, we need you to be good the whole season, my guy. You can't start at the top and then end up like you can't. Okay? You can't do that. But speaking of the Bundesliga this week, some nice scores for the top 5. All of them won their games. Bayern against Köln 4-1, and some big scorelines too. Leipzig beat Werder 3-0. Dortmund versus Eintracht ended in a 4-0. Haaland and Sancho both scored. Mönchengladbach beat Fortuna 4-1, and Leverkusen beat Union Berlin 2-1. So yeah, great results from the top 5 in the Bundesliga right now. So it's balanced out. It's still very tight in, you know, especially the top 3 right now with Leipzig, Bayern, and Dortmund. Mönchengladbach is not too far off. So it's going to be a really good, and as I've been saying all season, really interesting title race in the Bundesliga. But now let's move on quickly to the Premier League, and kind of like it's just tracking down how long it's going to take for Liverpool to win the league. Right now they have 12 games remaining after they beat Norwich 1-0, and now they only have 5 games that they need to. Yo, you got 5 games in February. You only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Just 5. 5 wins to be Premier League champions. I would be itching if I would just, I need it. I need it. But it's unbelievable what they're doing. They're still at 25 wins and 1 draw. They still haven't lost. It's knock on, I don't have any wood, but they're doing amazing. So it's crazy right now. And shout out, big honorable mentions to Arsenal for finally getting a win since January 1st or something, since New Year's. They had that 2-0 win against Manchester United, and they haven't won since then. So now they got a 4-0 win against Newcastle this weekend. So congratulations, Arsenal, man. Like, I genuinely have a thing for Arsenal where I joke around about them a lot, but I do want to see the team succeed. So when they get a win, like, this is not fake, guys. I'm excited to see them getting those wins. And Aubameyang and Lacazette are players that I really like to see succeed, and I appreciate them. And so, yeah, I want to see these boys win, man. I want to see y'all eat. Keep eating. We all eating. Nobody's starving. We all got to eat. Let's get fat together. But also, speaking of Premier League, this is what I really wanted to speak on today, and what's been making headlines. You see the title of this video. This is the big news of the week. Manchester City have been banned from any UEFA competitions, not just the Champions League, including the Champions League, but any UEFA competitions for the next 2 years. 2 years. 2 years of no UEFA competitions, no UCL, no we are the champions. None of that. And this is the statement that UEFA made regarding the situation. They said, adjudicatory chamber has imposed disciplinary measures on Manchester City Football Club, directing that it shall be excluded from participation in UEFA club competitions in the next 2 seasons, i.e. the 2020-21 and 2021-22 seasons, and pay a fine of 30 million euros, or is that pounds? One of them. Anyways, and then Manchester City came out with a club statement starting with, you guys also feel free to go on the links down in the description to see the full statements, but Man City is disappointed but not surprised by today's announcement by the UEFA. But yes, you guys can read all that. But what really interests me in this is at some point in Manchester City's statement, they said, and this is where the tea really gets hot. Simply put, this is a case initiated by UEFA, prosecuted by UEFA, and judged by UEFA. With this prejudicial process now over, the club will pursue an impartial judgment as quickly as possible and will therefore, in the first instance, commence proceedings with the Court of Arbitration of Sport at the earliest opportunity. They basically saying, yo, this, I don't understand how y'all bringing this charge on us. You're gonna prosecute it, judge it, and everything. So where's the fairness? I understand exactly where they're coming from, and in a way agree. But the fact of the matter is that these rules, a club as big as City should not be facing these problems. These are rules written black on white. They are very clear. Every club has a department. Somebody, I don't care if it's named John or Lucy or Marianne, somebody on each team. If it's the legal department, the HR, somebody is responsible for making sure things like this does not happen, especially one of the most wealthy clubs in Europe. So if it happens, you know what that tells me? It was done on purpose. It was done on purpose. They knew exactly what they were doing. They just thought that as big as they are, they would get away with it, and they did it. Now UEFA is making an example out of you, Man City, because you thought that you could spend all the money you want and go over the cap and break the financial fair play rules that they've instilled to make the game just a little more fair, and you didn't get away with it. So now y'all mad. Y'all mad. And you should be mad. 2 years, which is leading me now to the big question. What's really the essential question to ask here? Will Pep stay? Is he staying? Because one of the biggest reasons, if not the biggest reasons, why he came to England, why he came to coach Manchester City, was to win a Champions League. He has failed at doing so ever since he's been there. And now, you're not going to play, and they can appeal, okay? But who knows how long that's going to take, all right? But as of now, they won't be playing Champions League football for the next 2 years. They could finish this season, but for the next 2 seasons, it's clipped. So now, is he going to stay? Now, whether he loses or he wins it this year, can they win it this year? I'm not seeing it, but can they? Whether or not he does, whether or not they win it this year, I'm almost sure he is not staying. He is not staying at Man City. And it's unfortunate what's going on. But yeah, man, y'all kind of know this now. It's don't mess with UEFA. And yeah, you won't get banned from the Champions League. But speaking of which, guys, the Champions League is back this week. Atletico Liverpool, Dortmund PSG, Tottenham Leipzig, Atalanta Valencia, Bayern Chelsea, Napoli, Barcelona, Lyon, Juventus, and Real Madrid, and Manchester City will battle in the first round of the first leg of the round of 16 in the Champions League 2020 campaign. I'm super excited. It's been way too long since I've watched a Champions League match, and I am gassed. I am so happy. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Champions League. But last but not least, guys, in football this week, let's talk a little bit about some Italian football. In the Coppa Italia, 1-1 Juventus versus AC Milan. AC Milan ain't playing no games, man. I'm just telling you right now. Okay, yes, they did lose 4-2 to Inter last week, but they were leading 2-0. I'm seeing a lot of improvement. 1-1 against Juventus, Cristiano versus Zlatan, and then their counterparts, Inter Milan, lost to Napoli 1-0. There's, of course, a second leg in that, so that will be decided very soon. But in the Serie A, Juventus beat Brescia's butt because Dybala battered these boys with a beautiful free kick, far post free kick. Can he be the #1 free kick taker for Juventus now? Was that just kind of a lucky shot? I don't know if Ronaldo's gonna allow that, but they won the game, and so they're still on top of the Serie A table. Inter actually lost to who's now the second place, Lazio. Every club is named FC this, AC that, CF this, but no, Lazio just placed the SS in front of their name, and it's I don't know, man. But yeah, 2-1 SS Lazio won that game. Ashley Young was the only scorer for Inter, and it's actually his very first goal for Inter Milan, so congrats to him. But Lazio second now, Juventus is first, Inter 3 points behind Juve. That top three is very tight right now, and yeah, if Lazio continues on this, it's gonna be just as entertaining as the Bundesliga. Just very close, because there's a lot more teams involved in that Bundesliga title race, but those three are making it very interesting in the Serie A. So I'm excited to see that, and if it's gonna go down to the very last games, the very last few games, or even better, the last game of the season, I would love to see it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this week in football. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following football too and staying dedicated to the game, okay? That is the game that we love. Happy belated Valentine's Day to the game. We love football. Our true love. Mwah. Mwah. But guys, that's pretty much gonna be it for this week in football. You know, as I said in this video, do you think Pep is going to stay? Who is going to win the Bundesliga? Who's going to win the Serie A? Huh? What's gonna happen to Dembele? Can he come back and be as good a player as he was before he got injured? Answer all these questions and more down in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with, as always, your mommy, your daddy, your nanny, your sister, your brother, your cousin, male or female, your grandpa, your grandma, your cat, your pet hamster, your pet lizard, your pet tarantula. Share it with your imaginary friend. Let them know if they got an imaginary laptop, an imaginary phone, if they got an imaginary Google account and an imaginary YouTube account. Tell them to subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you check out the music and the social media in the description. Follow me on TikTok, and I will see you guys next time on Goal. Peace.